Hi dear students. So in previous videos we were studying about planning, and now we know what is planning, its characteristics, nature, etc. So now we will be studying about different types of planning. So in previous video when we were discussing about purpose of planning and nature, we were mentioning that different levels of management, that is all levels of management will be having doing this planning, and all levels of management is doing planning to get their objective, and each department or each level will be having different planning. That is, one will be having strategic planning, one will be having operational planning, like that. So today we will be discussing more about types of planning. On what basis we can divide planning, or what basis we can divide planning into different classes. Then what are different types of planning, like that. So this is how we classify a planning. Different types of planning we can classify on activity covered, on basis of period, on basis of approach, formulation and importance. So on basis of these 5 categories, we can divide planning into different types. Based on activity covered, we can have corporate planning and functional planning. So on activity covered, we can classify planning as corporate planning and functional planning. On basis of period, we can classify planning into long-term planning and short-term planning. On basis of approach, we can have proactive planning and reactive planning. Proactive planning and reactive planning. On basis of formulation, we can have formal planning and informal planning. On basis of importance, we can have strategic planning and operational planning. So this is how we are classifying our planning into under different categories. So if question is to answer what are different types of planning, either you can have corporate and functional planning, long-term and short-term planning, proactive and reactive planning, formal and informal planning, strategic and operational planning, or you can have a chart like this and you can explain it. So if it is a short type essay, you can just mention or give an idea about each types. No need of giving this type of chart and all. If it is an essay type, long essay type question, then you have to write what is planning. Then you can give some nature or characteristics. Then you can have types of planning. We can classify like this and all. We can go and we can explain different types of planning. So now we are moving to study in detail about types of planning. So first is activity covered. So we have corporate planning and functional planning. Corporate planning means it determines long-term objectives. That is, it is based on corporate level. They will be having long-term plans. Not for 1 year or 2 years. They will be having long projects and all. So it determines long-term objectives of an organization. Then it generates plans to achieve these objectives. That is, will be setting objective for long term, and to achieve that objective we should plan. So that is, we should or in corporate planning we generate plan to achieve this long term objectives, and it is always future. All types of planning, it is always future oriented, but this is for long period. So it is almost 10 to 15 years plan will be done there. Then or 5 to 10 years planning will be done there. Then future oriented, then integrated. Here all departments will be integrated. They won't be corporate planning means it is a plan which is given to whole company or whole organization. Whether it is not differentiated according to branches or departments, it is as for whole. Then second type of planning in activity covered is functional planning. Functional planning means here it is undertaken for sub-functions within each major functions. So here it is a part of corporate planning. Here we will be dividing our work into different segments, and for each segment we will be doing planning. That is functional planning. Next is time period. On basis of time period we have long-term and short-term planning. So it will always depend upon the time covered, whether it is for 3 to 5 years or whether it is for 1 to 3 years. According to that, we can have long-term and short-term planning. So long-term planning means it is strategic in nature. Then it involves generally to 5 years, 5 to 10 years it may be. But if it is 10 years means planning might be flexible or planning will be changing. So probably it will be done with 5 years. Then it relates to matters like new product diversification, like product expansion, product contraction, like that. So long-term planning means here it is always focused on a long period basis, and it is on a particular product, or if we are planning to expand the organization. Such things will be covering under long-term planning. And next is short-term planning. Short-term planning typically covers a frame within one year, maximum to 2 years, not more than that. In order that is to have an assist on certain activities which are to be done for longer term. So short-term planning typically covers time frames of less than 1 year in order to assist their company in moving gradually toward its long term. So after giving first year plan, they will be having some changes to next year. Then we will be doing the next year, like that it will be going. So most probably, if we are having a short-term plan, or if we are having something to start up or to have some changes, that will comes under short-term plan. For example, it is given that skills of employees and their attitude, to change their skill and attitude. Then the condition of production equipment or product quality problems are also short-term concerns. That is, if we face some decrease in demand, so how we can cover that. All such things comes under short-term plan. So that is enough with this video. Other types of planning we'll be discussing in another video. Thank you.